specifications on the saw. You can miter 50 to the left, 60 to the right. This thing weighs about 45 to 47 pounds with the battery. It is a dual bevel, so it does bevel left and right. For those who don't know what it means you can go this way or this way. Not all miter saws do that. A lot of miter saws will only go one way and you have to flip the board over, so that's definitely a positive for this. It is cordless. It runs on Milwaukee's M18 battery line. It is very efficient. You'll get close to over 400 cuts per it. The other thing is it can almost cut a 12-inch with the sliding feature. It can almost cut a 1x12, so it definitely have a good range, especially if you're looking for more of a smaller size but want extra. About the Milwaukee Miter Saw. Number one, it's light and compact. So it only weighs 47 pounds when some of the other miter saws weigh up to 75 pounds. It uses a metal detent system. Some of the new miter saws use aluminum, so they tend to give out over time. It's got a good rip pasty in terms of you get a full range with the slider. This thing does over 400 cuts on a battery, so it definitely has good long life. The other big thing is it uses a light instead of a laser, so you never have to calibrate it. The light, as you can see, right there. So basically, it casts a shadow of the blade, so you can see exactly where it does the cut. The other big thing I do like is it is a dual bevel, so you can swing one way and another way versus having to, flip over the board and do two separate kinds of cuts. So that's what I like about the miter saw. About the miter saw, there's not many things, but number one is the dust collection. Not many of the miter saws have good dust collection, but here's just a demonstration on how bad this one is. That's just from one small cut. So when you're running this thing continuously, dust gets everywhere. Even with the full-on vacuum system, this thing gets really dusty. The other thing I don't like about this is the fences. You need to move the fences when you're doing bevel cuts. So a lot of people may not know when the fences initially come like this, and so when you do a bevel cut, moving left to right, you will need to move your fence, otherwise you risk damaging the blade and the miter saw. The last thing I don't like about this is the length. The length measures 35 inches. So if you run this in a shop or you have a small shop limited on space, this thing will get in the way. I think Milwaukee does need to redesign it in a way where they kind of mimic Bosch's, where it's more compact and uses more of like a glider system. But this thing does have a big footprint for a 10-inch miter saw. So what is my general score for the Milwaukee compound miter saw? I'm going to give it an 8.5. The dust collection is really bad on this, so if you're one of those people that just hates dust, this saw will produce a lot of dust. It is a good saw though. It's very portable, light, so if you're going to be taking on the job, it is a great saw for that. Why I give it an 8.5? The dust collection was bad and the footprint is really big. This thing extends 35 inches, so it can't fit in a lot of shops. But it is a good saw. It's accurate, cuts really well. Right out of the box, it didn't need a lot of adjusting. So that's my overall score for it. I do think there's things Milwaukee can improve on, and I think they will with the later generations of it, but it is good for beginners and pros alike, and their cordless system is probably the best cordless system out there. So I would definitely recommend this miter saw to everybody. So first cut, we're just gonna do a quick, actually that shouldn't be out. Let's do a quick cut. So there's a light I was talking about, how it's just so much better than a laser. You never have to calibrate it or anything. So much dust everywhere. Milwaukee, take note. Next, let's do a 45-degree cut so we can actually compare angle. Actually, let's go this way. Next, I have an angle finder just to measure the cuts. All right, let's see if we got our 45 degrees. 44.8. It's pretty good. 44.9. So it's pretty accurate, especially if you're, if that's your thing or you have your degree of error. This is a pretty good saw. This is after tuning this miter saw a bit. adjusting some of the stuff, and the manual has it to go over what you need to adjust to true up the saw properly.